It's been a while since I've been bad.
Hey folks, unsung, we're in person. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy
officially,
New Year. Happy
officially
New Year,
and
everybody.
unofficially.
Yeah, officially and unofficially.
God bless us, everyone.
This is supposed to be a Christmas special, but I don't think we can get away with calling that by the time it comes out. Business as usual.
the best laid plans of mice and men aft gang of Gley. Yeah, we did intend to record this earlier, but you went and got yourself ill.
Not just that, but I mean, we would record it even earlier if you hadn't got yourself hacked. And we lost like a month and a half.
What we're saying is that viruses of all kinds are to blame.
Yeah. But you know what? We're all better for it, right?
Yeah, I quite like it, actually. We did notice that there'll be a few consequences of this. One is that even by the end of this sesh, we'll only be maximum 2/3 as drunk as we probably would have been.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So that, yeah, the last 20 minutes should be coherent, hopefully.
Or recorded.
Or recorded, yeah.
Yeah, we can blame that on a virus as well, Mark.
Yeah. Just my brain is the virus, I think.
But it's interesting recording at this side of New Year. One lovely bonus is that we've not actually exchanged our Christmas presents yet.
Yeah, you hear that live on air.
Yeah, we do it live on air, but let's jump into that halfway. Let's get warmed up a wee bit here.
The really good thing about opening presents in an audio medium is that everybody can see it. That was ironic. You obviously can't. It's horrible. It's terrible for a podcast.
I wish there was a sound sample that was dust balls bouncing across the desert.
But ironically, that's obviously also bad for visual.
Yeah.
Should we just go deeper into the hole?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, welcome to the new year, guys. We're all set for a smashing year of content.
This is the thing, guys. This is part 2 of the 3-part Christmas special, and usually this is the best one. This is the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah, because we're tipsy.
Yeah, we're tipsy, but we come hearing into it, high on life. End of the year's coming up. We're all like, right, let's fucking do it. And the questions in this one are usually still somewhat coherent, vaguely discursive, but not completely nonsensical. Whereas the third part is when we tend to leave a lot of the shite, because it's going to be a shite answer as well. So thanks to everybody that contributed to the question pool this year. There's quite a number. I think we've worked out it's about 12 questions per episode, roughly.
That's right, yeah.
Some got condensed because we're very similar, but we'll give you a shout out anyway. As we said, the big difference between this and part 1 will be the probably snacks and decanting and belching.
Yes.
Possibly.
Probably.
What there won't be is the sound of a swinging door for every toilet run, because we're not actually in Dave's work, because Dave's work is no longer Dave's work.
Yeah, I don't work there anymore.
So we're now in my house, or in the Unsung studio. Thanks in advance to my housemate for accommodating this shit show.
Yes.
But it's cosy, right? It's all like Christmas lights. We got a Christmas
tree. It's very
tree.
warm. It was absolutely pissing it down outside, but already the water on my knees has evaporated.
Let's also
condensation on the window now.
Since this is not a visual medium, as Mark very, very drolly pointed out a minute ago, let's also give a nod to the jacket that you turned up in, David.
Oh yeah, well, my fleece. It's sort of Nike.
You know that you look at that and you know that the kids that made it had a fun time doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking it's kind of like an E. coli petri dish, or picture an early 90s leisure centre.
Yes, basically that.
Or a late 90s bus seat.
Oh, it's the first bus seat. It is a first bus
seat.
No,
you know what it is? It's all of those things overlaid onto each other. That's what it is. Yep. It's a collage.
Yeah.
It's a smashing jacket. You were saying it's the most complimented piece of clothing you've ever worn.
Yeah, pretty much every time I wear it, and I bought it in like fucking July, I go out and a random person will say, oh, like person working at the co-op, person, on the train, oh, I love your jacket, oh, that's a great jumper, oh, I like your fleece, and I'm like, thanks, it's fine. It looks like E. coli.
It's interesting though, because it really was quite striking.
It is.
Mark, you're wearing a nice t-shirt yourself.
Thanks. Danny got me this. It's a Camp Run the Jewels t-shirt with Killer Mike and LP as camp leaders. Is that what they're called in America? Camp leaders? Yeah. And a boat.
It's black and yellow. I like a bit of black and yellow. It's good.
Oh yeah, it's striking. It's got the black sort of
the collar.
Yeah.
Got this as a gift.
Oh, Cocktail Twins t-shirt.
Cocktail Twins t-shirt.
What does that sound like?
It's soft. It's soft and it's inoffensive.
Grangemouth's finest.
But yeah, so we're all reasonably well dressed. Dave's exceptionally well dressed. That's something that we hadn't really taken on board since David started doing fewer episodes of the show, is just how much the fashion value plummeted.
And the knee value. He's not wearing shorts today though.
Yeah, I know. It's
too cold for that shit.
I take my shorts take 3 months off.
It works on a lot of levels. Okay, so what are we drinking?
Brewdog Silk Road. I'm not going to feel bad about it though, because capitalism.
You're so into punk.
It is a thing.
Straight to the Brewdog.
It is a thing. Yeah.
But you're on the random nice beers, aren't you?
Yeah, just random nice beers, yeah.
There's a Loch Lomond one there. Loch Lomond's a cracking brewery.
Yeah, probably a bit more cool than Brewdog, I would
but
say.
It's a wee bit better as well. It's really good. Loch Lomond, large body of water in Scotland.
We're firing all cylinders so far, boys.
Maybe the wine lesson that you gave us last time, that wine class that we had, Dave.
I don't remember that.
There's two kinds of wine, French wine and not French wine.
Aye, that's true. Yeah, exactly. So this year I'm on Trevento, Argentina, Malbec.
Is Argentina in France?
No,
this is one of the other types of wine. But I'm just checking it. It's called Mendoza, wine of Argentina. Mendoza, was that not the name of the bad guy?
Carlos Mendoza.
In the fake Simpsons sort of movie that runs through. Oh, who's the Schwarzenegger?
Is it Raul Mendoza?
Oh,
rip-off. Is it not Mendoza that he shouts, Mendoza?
I think that says like, is that not like his boss?
Something
the
like
chief
that.
of police or
You're not
something?
talking about McGarnagle, you're talking about the other one.
Yeah. No, the guy that is Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember his name. The goggles, they do nothing.
Goggles, they do nothing.
Senator Mendoza. McBain.
There is a McGarnagle The Simpsons thing as well.
Yeah. McGarnagle. This is the Christmas special. It's a Merry Malbec.
Can you do me a favour and look up Carlos Mendoza?
Carlos.
Is he not a football player?
He's a
No.
He's a Venezuelan baseball manager.
That's the one.
Of course.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
That's the one that automatically jumped to mind.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it's a good year for him.
What are you drinking, you wank?
Well, I'm drinking a Ukrainian vodka. Specifically Ukrainian vodka.
Nimirov.
Because, Slava Ukraine.
Slava Ukraine.
And thanks for buying that. Also, we had a wee tipple of a Scottish vodka called, I think it's Blackwoods. I tasted this by accident.
How do you taste vodka by accident?
Well, contrary to what this suggests, I'm not really that big a vodka fan. But the lovely person at a trade fair that I was just happened to be at was like, here, try this. It's surprisingly good. And that Blackwood stuff is surprisingly good. Scottish, I think it's from up somewhere near Perth. So if you want to try vodka that's actually really not horrible, Dave, you can vouch for that.
Yes, I can't drink vodka because of being a 14-year-old who snorted vodka. And I just had a little sip of that straight. Normally that would make me retch and have to go to the toilet and think about all of the bad things I've done in my life. And it was just like a nice spirit.
I was amazed. Amazed. I honestly, I said to you, my theory is it's Scottish water.
Yeah.
Famous Scottish water.
Absolutely.
We're just more accustomed to it. None of that Burtonisation. Look it up on YouTube. Okay, right. I think that's us warmed up.
Yeah. I had a
certainly on fire.
I had a random fact about Poland there. I was going to chuck in about the tap water, but we'll just fucking skirt right past that motherfucker.
Carlos Rosales Mendoza was a Mexican drug lord.
Carlos Mendoza.
Yeah,
right,
you're probably talking about him, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's from something. Life, probably. We have a question, Mark. You're going to be doing the questions. So how about you take us away?
Ricky Stewart, long time listener and donator to the pod.
Donor, I think is the word.
Sub. let's just
Subator. We've got a mass subator because he's given a lot of money.
Heyo. What is the best pop song that didn't chart by pop bands or indie metal punk or hip hop bands?
I have a good answer for this, but who wants to go first?
I've got a couple of interesting ones. Where Is My Mind by the Pixies was never a single.
That's mad.
So that never charted. It actually did chart. It charted in 2022.
Yeah, but didn't also chart when Fight Club came out?
No, it didn't. Not in the UK at least anyway, but it charted in the UK indie chart in 2022. That's the first time I'd ever charted in the UK. I always thought that was a single. It was never a single. which is in the UK at least anyway.
That's really interesting. There's probably a couple of Pixies songs that are like that.
So,
It's on their greatest hits. That's strange.
yeah.
Death to the Pixies. Dave, you got any for this?
Well, yeah, there's like just a couple of my favourite songs. I still scrobble to Last FM. I don't know if you guys
do
still.
you?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
So it's really handy because I don't have to look at Spotify Wrapped because I can just look at the actual
Actual
data.
yeah. What's your most
That includes
played song?
December.
What's your most
Think
played
of all-
song ever?
I'll tell you right now. Actually, it's a Latitudes song, Myth Cathexis. Remember that band Latitude? So like
Only the
doomy
name.
post-metal.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling, I mean, I really do like that song. It's a banger. It's very heavy. It's got a big chunky thing. But I feel like the top 20 is a little bit skewed because I used to just leave playlists on all night by mistake, or just like my laptop used to play and repeat. So there's definitely some albums in here that I've maybe listened to 3 times, but I've got like 500 plays. But
Anyway.
there's a song Pantalon by Cornel Kovacs, who's a producer, that I have listened to and probably played every DJ set I've ever DJ'd.
Roto pantalón, roto pantalón, roto pantalón. Gritando, voy a repartir, voy a repartir, voy a repartir.
It's a sample from like a late 70s, early 80s disco track, and it's speeded up, and then it's just got really good, nice production in it. And it came out on Glasgow label Numbers about 10 years ago. It's just a really fun pop song, and it's possibly my favourite song ever made.
You've played this to me before.
Yeah, probably. It's just like really upbeat, fun song that you can just play anytime. And then there was this Russian band called Tesla Boy, and they were just like synthy nonsense, kind of like 80s throwback synth stuff, but they had this song called Spirit of the Night. And I believe I first heard it, was it Digital Winch, the club night they used to do?
Oh yeah.
And they played this song, and I was like, holy shit, that is a total banger. And I've got no idea if they support Putin or anything anymore, like that little Russian bracket that you have to say. But yeah, it was just a real fucking class pop song, and it was, nobody's ever heard it.
She's a metropolitan girl, maybe someone that I could know, maybe leaves a man that plays her role. She's a phantom flying like a kite.
I don't know if it did well in Russia or not.
Okay, well, I was a bit confused as to whether didn't chart meant top 40 or top 100. The song Beating Heart Baby by Head Automatica only got to number 44.
Baby, is this love for real? Let me in your arms still. The beating of your heart, baby. The beating of your heart, baby. Baby, is this love for real?
Oh yeah, I'd say that. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is incredibly low for that tune. And the track Cornerstone by Arctic Monkeys only made number 94 for 1 week.
I thought I saw you in the rusty hook, huddled up in a wicker chair. I wandered over for a closer look and kissed whoever was sitting there. She was close and she held me very tightly till I...
And given how prominent that song is in their live shows as well as just in their kind of catalogue, I think that's pretty surprising. The absolutely easy and correct answer for me, full stop, it wasn't even a single, which blows my fucking mind, is The Crawl 2 by Arcade Fire. Which is probably their best tune. just absolutely incredible disco-y, blondie type track from the suburbs that is just fucking sensational. And yeah, it wasn't even a single. And a bit like Where Is My Mind, it's become one of their most totemistic tunes, yet just sits at like, I think it's like number 13 or something in that record, with that ignominious fucking name as well, The Crawl Part 2, when, you know, I think it's bracketed as Mountains Beyond Mountains, which is the line from it, but it's just so fucking sensationally good, that song.
Living in the sprawl, shopping malls, runs like mountains beyond mountains, and there's no end in sight. I need the darkness, someone please cut the lights.
Funnily enough, Arcade Fire come up in the answer to one of my questions one of my answers to a later question.
They've had 4 number 1 albums, but they've only once been in the top 20 singles.
Do you know I couldn't tell you what an Arcade Fire song sounds like?
That's your loss then, to be honest, because they are, although they're up and down with their albums, when they're up, they're fucking all the way up, man. They're an excellent band. One of the best live shows I've seen in years, actually, the show at the Hydro. But yeah, the song Rebellion Lies was their only single to go top 20, which I thought was kind of surprising. But yeah, some other tracks that were not singles. ABBA have a bunch. Happy New Year wasn't a single. The Visitors wasn't a single. The Piper wasn't a single.
Visitors, fucking hell, man.
And then obviously I want to chuck in any one of 3 songs from the Crazy Nights album by Kiss.
You don't need to say them, you chucked them in. Let's move on.
Well, My Way is like the Rocky montage song that should have been. It's every bit as good as fucking Survivor. So
I'm never gonna stop. I'm never gonna give up in the fight. 'Cause after the battle is done, all you got left is your brain. I'm gonna talk.
yeah, that should have happened. But also just an honourable mention for the track Vanishing Tanks by Adam Stafford, which is just this brilliant bit of like really weird talking headsy alternative pop. Came from a very underground act. You know, Adam's, I don't know, people know him here, but he is absolutely nothing like the breakout success he deserves. We've done a show partially about Adam. That track I just think is a brilliant bit of pop music. So yeah.
Strange that the light from the candle has brought you back to mine. Through the curtain, I trace the outline of your teenage poltergeist.
I've got a couple to chuck in. I kind of thought about big artists. Free Falling by Tom Petty didn't make the top 50 in the UK.
I'm free. I'm free falling. Yeah, I'm free.
I am glad of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge song though, and one of his biggest. The song Mountains from the album Parade by the artist Prince hit the alarm.
Jeez,
how many
that
minutes
took
in
a
an
while.
episode
Yeah,
are we?
fucking hell.
Use your mind. I said someday mountains and the sea. Love will conquer if you just believe.
We spoke about this song, we spoke about that album on an episode a while ago. I think that's an unsung classic of his. That's a great song, didn't chart here. And a really weird one, have you ever heard of What's So Funny About Peace, Love and Understanding?
Yes.
The Elvis Costello song, the version of that song.
And each time I feel like this inside, there's one thing I wanna know. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about
One of probably his most famous songs, I think.
Yeah. There's some big covers of that as well.
Yeah, it's a cover. That is a cover of I think it's like a soul tune or a Motown song.
Yeah, but I mean, since then as well, though, there's a couple of sort of like slowed down, sexy alternative kind of covers.
Actually, there's a video for that and all that, but it was never released as a single ever.
Interesting.
It's quite, and he was kind of hot at that period. That was like Invisible Army's era, so that was kind of when he was, at his peak. Some would say
That's pretty surprising.
So,
yeah. All right. Well, that was a sensible answer.
Yeah, should we go to the next one? Jordan Butler. Hey Jordan, you've been with us since the start, I think, Jordan. So thanks.
Is he another sub-8er?
Yeah. He used to be the metal guy. He used to be the one that used to get all the metal records from Dave.
That's a nice bit of chocolate you gave me there, Mark.
It's 85%. It's very dark.
It's waxy but good.
Name some unsung countries in terms of musical output. I feel as though this is a kind of a prompt a little bit as well.
Sorry, I'm just finishing that delicious chocolate. I have a few here. Can I throw mine in and then I'm sure you're going to add on top? And I want to start by acknowledging my acute ignorance with regards to African music, the music of different African nations. I only know a few that are, reputedly excellent. And I'm sure every citizen of every African nation can make a case for how good some of their musical output is. The ones that have made it across here in terms of my limited awareness, Nigeria is the biggest musical nation in Africa in terms of charts and stuff. Nigerian acts are sort of dominant there. I always understood that Ghana was great for music. There's that guy E.T. Mensah, king of high life, who invented that genre.
Mezi mezi, easy mezi men pensio. Mezi mezi men pensie kura. Mezi mezi, easy mezi men pensio. Mezi mezi men pensie kura.
Reggie Rockstone created that, what's it called? Hip Life? Is it Hip Life? It's like the crossover style between high life and hip hop, and that sort of that world of music. I'm afraid it's beyond my real knowledge, but I am aware of it and aware of its importance and aware of like real notable successes. Also, Mali is pretty legendary for music in Africa. Names that we might know would be like Songhai Blues. Who you know, Dave, obviously, and Ali Farka Touré, the guitarist. But there's so many more besides. But I just want to get that out in advance. I'm going to sound really ignorant and very Western-centric here because my knowledge of African music is not what it should be, but life's short. France, of course, a big one for me. The French underground in particular is where I'm coming from. Marvin, who do our theme tune. Gacha, the duo Electric, Papier Tigre, multiple generations of really, really interesting alternative French underground bands who, I don't know, they get into it and they never really expect any breakthrough success. And the French underground, as a result, doesn't really have a thirstiness to it. There's a real sense of people just wanting to be part of this movement in France and also just create great songs and experiment. I mean, Electric are a great example of that. They just went further and further out there. There isn't that sense that you get with some alternative bands here where they do reasonably okay and then they maybe get a wee bit of ambition to do some breakthrough stuff and the music sort of gravitates towards something that just might, trouble some indie charts or something like that. The French bands don't really seem to subscribe to that and they just plough this furrow of like, this is what we creatively want to try out, and as a result, being involved in that circuit is just constantly exciting. Going on tour there, the bands you see that are just doing stuff, you're like, where the fuck did they come up with that? Like, why are they doing that? It works, but it shouldn't, and it's phenomenal. So yeah, we've spoken about Belgium on the show, the kind of Belgian weird alternative pop scene with like Millionaire and Deus and Goose.
You start to find no God is near. You ought to be amazed and always here. Crack down, resist the lightning within you.
I guess what's that by Soulwax, even bands like that.
Soulwax,
Loads of really unusual music in Belgium. Like you're like, what are you thinking? There's a weird place where it's sometimes almost funny, sometimes kind of goofy. I mean, it's a strange country, but they make some great things. And I would just say Ireland as well, Republic of Ireland in particular. Gillaband, Girl Band, Fontaines DC, Adebisi Shank, All Twins. Again, scratching the surface, like lots of really, really good, interesting alternative stuff comes out of Ireland. And again, a bit like their European cousins, their fellow Europeans, EU citizens, they do stuff that's generally really pretty innovative. I think even some of the bands that have broken through out of Ireland, I mean, Gillaband are doing it all right, yet they're really odd. They're really not the kind of sound that you'd expect to have breakthrough success. It's pretty harsh. So I really admire what comes out of there.
Cool, Dave.
I'm kind of going to reflect that. I feel like I'm only just getting started and delving in and discovering not just, it's pretty large to start with a whole continent, because you're like, where the fuck? Because you could just listen to music from Manchester. You could just listen to music from Glasgow.
Totally.
But there's just so much amazing African music, but also Middle Eastern music and like North African music and Arabic music that I've been getting into. I mean, you mentioned a couple of the big ones there. Like Nigeria does so much stuff, and I reckon a good place to start is actually, there are compilations released by different record labels. Like South Africa has so much amazing music.
Do you remember years ago we got asked about the Ethiopics, the Ethiopian kind of progressive jazz compilations that were absolutely amazing. Again, if you're even vaguely interested in that sort of stuff, try and find the Ethiopics, Ethiopia, Piques at the end, which is, they're kind of semi sort of legendary kind of underground compilations of this amazing music from that area.
And what also, I mean, I hate to promote it, but if you find a banger on Spotify and then hit artist radio, you'll find so many artists that sound, kind of similar to that. That's how I find a lot of stuff. So like the Next Stop Soweto series of compilations are like so good for South African music, but then also just African continental music. Yeah, they're interesting folk like, you find guitarists like Abdullah Ombadagu, I think his name is, a Nigerian.
The delivery, the confidence in that delivery as well.
Another song, right? This is one that could have been from the previous question. Only You by Steve Monite.
Okay.
What an absolute tune, and like never been in the charts. Might have been in the charts in Nigeria, I don't know.
How do you spell his name?
Just Steve, and then Monite.
Yeah, it was a second name.
Like you can play that anytime. You could probably play it at a wedding and people will love it.
I would just guess that that's Monite, no?
Monite? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's probably French. And I can just get lost, find it, and I'm going to totally plead ignorance as well, but like just go find weird stuff, and there'll be weird 70s disco movements that happened in Uganda that you have no idea about, and you just have to find the compilation that sort of brings all these artists to you. So
since Dave's now got a job as a Spotify plugger, they sacked a third of their workforce and hired Dave, but
just Dave.
Since we're plugging apps, actually, what Dave's just said there, I've got a very, very good suggestion for an app. So there's an app called Radio, and that's I think there's about 4 or 5 O's at the end of it. And what Radio does is it gives you a world map, and you can click on any country, You can then click on any decade, and they will play what you would have heard on the radio in that country in that decade.
Oh yeah.
And it is fascinating, and it's really, there's loads of like crossover with like politics as well, because for example in Iran in the 80s, suddenly there's no fucking radio, and you're like, what's going on here? And then meanwhile in Iraq in the like late 70s, it's heavy metal, and it's so interesting. You can click on African nations, Latin American nations, you can click in the Far East, you can click in the Middle East, you can click all over the place and go back, I think all the way back, in some cases all the way back to like 1930s, 40s, whenever the kind of shortwave broadcasting started. They've got samples of stuff is going way back.
Cool.
And then obviously right up into the modern. It's a terrific app, honestly. It's great if you're just driving or you're just curious, you want to research a country. Like Dave said, you know, we're talking about these names for Mali or Ghana, right? They're probably the equivalent of like Deacon Blue and Louis Capaldi from those countries. So you can only imagine how many amazing bands there are further down the iceberg of Ghanaian or Malian music that you won't hear of until you're much more familiarised with it. And as Dave also says, it's like so hard to familiarise yourself with such a large body of work. But that app, Radio, is excellent for that. It's really interesting. And as I say, the political crossover stuff is just fascinating as well.
Cool. For me, I want to kind of draw a little bit of a spotlight on Midwestern emo in Japan, of which there is. When I say Midwestern emo, I'm thinking more like American football or Algernon Cadwella, or you know that kind of era, or even like early Discord like Fugazi, Farrakhan, that kind of thing. Those bands like Ann Protector, Anorak, all caps, exclamation mark.
Right, okay, wonderful.
By the End of Summer. Soccer, Pen, they're all really good bands. They're all
Is that Soccer and Pen?
Soccer and a band called Pen, yeah, two different bands.
Soccer Pen would be an alright emo name as well.
Yeah, so Japan. I've got quite a few bands kicking about doing that kind of thing, but it's kind of split.
You know why it is? It's because they've already got the fringes.
Well, you could say that, but that was before that era. Do you know what I mean? But it kind of floats over a little bit to like other parts of Asia as well. There was a band in 2023 who played here from China called Chinese Football.
害怕我们都已不在城市。
They're basically like American football but Chinese, and they're from Wuhan in China. Kind of sound a little bit like Death Cab or like Fevers and Mirrors era Bright Eyes. So that we're looking at that, like that kind of emo. There's Forests from Singapore. Who are kind of, I don't know, a bit mathy. Wouldn't sound out of place on like the Vans Warped Tour in the early 2000s.
By the way, heavy fuck you for making me edit all these clips in with it.
Yeah, sorry, dude. Falls, another Japanese band.
You can use Google, another massive corporation. Find all these
my
bands.
Chinese keyboard as well. Yeah,
so just and then there's another band called Empty Bottles from Hong Kong. So yeah, there's like they're popping up all over the place. I think there's a few bands in the Philippines and all that as well. So emo seems to be spreading over that end of the world. It's pretty cool to see.
There is a really interesting documentary which has just popped into my head, which is about the punk scene in Indonesia, and I cannot remember the name of it. Dave might look up punk documentary Indonesia while I'm rambling here, but basically in Indonesia, familiar. Especially in some of the more southerly islands, they're so religiously fundamentalist.
A punk daydream,
yeah. They're so fundamentalist that being a punk rocker carries with a death sentence. That's no exaggeration. Like, these kids frequently disappear and then the bodies turn up, and they are keeping a punk scene alive in one island in particular, the name of which, again, go and see the documentary, look it up. Absolutely fascinating story where we've talked about it in the past in the context of Russia and stuff, but it's where punk actually is proper rebellion, is properly like resisting the authoritarian state and the religious authoritarian state in that context. So yeah, that's another one that probably deserves to be highlighted, and it's a really fascinating insight into it.
So I think we did a pretty good job there, and there's much more of the world left to explore.
Hey Dave, whole much?
Whole munch. All right.
Right, so I mean, these are the kind of answers you wouldn't have gotten if we'd started drinking one full episode ago.
I mean,
Although Mark
I would not have
would
said,
still have been talking
I would still have said
badly.
that.
Okay, next one.
The next one is Neil Quinney. What's your favourite post-Max Sepultura record, and would they have turned shite if he stayed in the band?
I misread this. This is post Max Sepultura record.
Yeah.
I thought it was post Sepultura Max record.
Well, that's
So I was like, well, it's got to be Soulfly, but I mean, they're all pretty shit.
That's one interesting ambiguity in this question. The other one is the quote, would they have turned shite if he stayed? Does that mean they are shite and would it have mattered? Or they aren't shite and would he have made them shite if he
Well, I saw Sepultura in the Ironworks, R.I.P. in Inverness.
Inverness, yeah.
It must have been like 2010, I don't know. Very weird that they played in Inverness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were amazing.
They're really fucking good
They
live,
were
man.
so good.
I think the reason this question's probably come up is because Sepultura have just announced they're breaking up this year, and that's going to be it. They're done.
Right.
You guys are what? You guys.
So wait a minute. How are we interpreting this then? That they're not shite, and would he have made them shite?
So
or that
the received wisdom is that when he left, he became shite.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which I don't think I've got a record of note after Roots, and that's when he left. So.
Mm-hmm.
You could say that. Is it Derek Green's vocalist name? I think
Derek Green.
Yeah.
I think he's
Who-
really
what was
good.
he- what was it he was in before?
He was in.
When I was a kid, he was in a metal band.
He was in a band called Outface.
No.
I don't think he was in a band.
You should be thinking of somebody else, Chris.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, as a casual listener, I don't remember any of their albums post Roots, but
yeah.
even Roots, I don't know. I wasn't really that into it. I mean, I didn't really.
Well, they changed from thrash to new metal.
Yeah, I didn't really listen after KLCD.
Became a groove metal band, really.
But no, I mean, I've not listened to every Sepultura record since Roots, but I do know that Nation, the first album that they did with Derek Green, was actually pretty good. It was a little bit more progressive. It was groovier. It wasn't as new metal. It was like, it wasn't a thrash record, but it was like, yeah, that was an interesting record. I liked it. And then I think, did Dante 11, did that not get pretty decent reviews as well?
So no.
But I like Nation. And spinning the question to how I thought it was what's the best post
That's the question.
Sepultura
What's the
Max
best,
record?
the best post Max? Yeah, that's the way I took it as well.
It would be Primitive by Soulfly.
Back to the primitive. Fuck all your politics. We got our life to live the way we want to be. Back to the primitive. Fuck all your politics.
And I'd say it's slim pickings because I think most of what he's done has been very one-dimensional.
Ice.
And I think Soulfly are a very one-dimensional band.
Yeah.
They basically do the bouncy bit of new metal really well. They go do-do, 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 da-da, 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 da-da. And Primitive probably is the one that came out at the right time and did it well, and it's got like 3 good songs on it.
Yeah, you've kind of answered both questions by saying that you think that Sepultura record with Derek Green is it. For me, I really haven't listened to anything Max has done since Roots. So I would say I did quite like that, with the exception of Killer Be Killed, which I'll only listen to because it's got the guy from Macedon in it, Troy.
That's why you're blind of light from another breed. Realize wrong from right, turning raw inside of me. Having vision in the sight.
Dave Elrich, who's a fucking class drummer, and Greg from Dillinger, and Troy.
Yeah, that was like foreshadowing to a question. That's a super group.
Yeah, and I thought the singles in that record are really, really good, man. They all share vocal duties on it as well, which was pretty interesting. I think that's the best thing he's done since Sepultura.
What's the band
Okay.
called?
Killer Be Killed.
Killer
Killer
be killed.
Be Killed.
Killer Be Killed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
It's a play on words, Christopher.
I didn't think we'd have too much to say about this question, so I fell down a little bit of a rabbit hole. And fucking Max Cavalera and his brother Igor Cavalera are creating a fucking dynasty. Do you know about this? It's crazy, right? So Max has got a stepson called Richie who plays in a band called Insight. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. His other son Zion now plays drums in Soulfly with him. Igor's son, Igor Amadeus Cavalera,
Great names.
plays guitar in another Max side project called Go Ahead and Die. And with the exception of Richie, they've all played on Cavalera Conspiracy or Cavalera Records. And last year, Cavalera Conspiracy, who are now just called Cavalera, re-recorded Morbid Visions and Bestial Devastation by Sepultura, which is the first record and the first EP, and released it last year. I don't know why I did that, but
Yeah, you expect me to go and find all that stuff, do you?
no, I just think it's quite. I think it's interesting that all their sons in that are starting to also like take up the family mantle.
See, for every
Yeah, no,
sample that you would have played of all these different bands that we've talked about, just
Shut the fuck up.
yeah, just have Max going Rhodes every single time. So
Oh, you reminded me of something. Hang on, Dave, you got your phone handy? Would you message the group, Dave?
what do you want?
Just message the group.
Oh yeah, oi lads.
Fuck off, I'll fucking kill you, you cunt.
Yeah, a good message, John. I'll be selling that actually. That's,
So that was the ultimate sample from that last show we did.
And before we wrap up this question, Joe must know Max Cavalera because he's on a Man Must Die song.
I don't know.
2013. He must
I
know.
know Ben knows.
Ben knows
Igor.
about it. They not talked about doing something.
Yeah,
that
Ben knows
never-
Igor really well. Igor's a big Blank Mass fan.
Yeah, because I only found out when I was doing my Google research today that like he does guest vocals in a Man Must Die song from 2013.
There you go.
So
Kept that quiet.
hi Joe.
Hey Joe, I believe is the phrase.
Hey Joe. Yeah.
You see, whenever I write an email to a musician called Joe, I have to automatically change my standard
Hello,
approach
Joe.
to hello or hi.
No, hey,
It's
can't-
just-
can't-
it's just a thing I go through constantly.
Thanks for that, Neil. Hopefully we've answered your question to some satisfaction. Richard Billsborough.
Fuck are you smoking, Richard?
Hello, Richard. All guitar tracks are replaced with pitch-shifted animal sounds. Which animal are you choosing? I have two. I have samples of them, which I'm going to play.
I was like,
But-
wait a minute, all guitar sounds are replaced with animal sounds like in the universe? Like,
Yes.
all guitar sounds
Yes.
or in a particular song?
All guitar sounds that exist that have ever been played by any guitar instrument.
Okay. But I think Sweet Child of Mine would be really good with ducks. This is fucking demented. Overall, I would say goats.
I was going to pick goats, but I didn't because it felt obvious. And this is my answer. It's the lemur. And it sounds like this.
Oh, that's quite good. But everyone's a string bend.
Yeah. It was thanks to Danny for that. And also, every metal vocalist should be replaced with, fuck's sake, the koala mating sound.
It's a bit cheery, isn't it?
Wow,
So, yeah,
that's powerful.
that's powerful.
Well, I just wrote goose. That's obviously goose, isn't it?
That's going to work better for new metal.
Exactly. That's
For Max
right.
Cavalera.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Wow.
That was brief, mercifully so. Hopefully you enjoyed that answer, Richard. Okay, so what's next? Kate Siobhan M. Best Christmas
Did
album.
you say Kate Siobhan M?
Yeah. That's what the name's written down as it here, mate. So
Make your mind up.
Yeah, best Christmas album. Unfortunately, I think I have the correct answer to this.
No such thing.
I think I have.
I didn't even really know there were. Well, no, it's not that I didn't know there were Christmas albums. I get there's compilations of singles, but I suppose there's like those like Sinatra and Bublé collections, aren't there? The one that comes to mind, the only one that came to mind, is that Low have a Christmas record.
I knew you were going to say that.
And by default, I don't even think it's particularly good, but I'm just going to say Low.
Christmas without you, I'll be so blue, just thinking about you.
I think the answer is A Christmas Gift for You from Phil Spector. Every single Motown Christmas song you've heard comes from that record.
What are some Motown Christmas songs?
Fuck. Why can't I remember any of them?
Sounds like a great album.
You've heard them. Babe, Christmas Baby Please Come Home is on it. All the Christmas standards are done.
Santa Baby.
Yeah, all the
Is that one?
That's weird. That was in my head.
all the Christmas standards that are basically you would usually that would be in a Christmas record done
Just
with Phil Spector.
Fucking
with,
wall of sound style.
with
It's
female
reindeering
vocalists.
men.
Yeah, I think that's probably the correct answer.
Yeah, there's a lot of shite out there, obviously.
Yeah,
I only have pies
Did
for you.
fucking Zooey Deschanel not do one? So one of them famous actresses did a Christmas album. Maybe it was Scarlett Johansson.
Why did that joke not land better?
I don't know. What was your one?
I said I only have pies for you.
Like a Christmas album, I would say you've got to put it on over Christmas dinner.
yeah.
Like good background music. So like a nice jazzy, inoffensive one is good. And actually, I think the best one is the Charlie Brown Christmas soundtrack.
Yeah, that's actually often said as being
So
that's
it's
the best one.
recorded by the Vince Giraldi or the Vince Giraldi Trio.
Did the
Who
Beach
is-
Boys do a Christmas record?
They did, yes.
Is it any good?
I don't know. Ask Vicky.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, on the Phil Spector record, there's White Christmas by Darlene Love. There's the Ronettes are on it. They do Sleigh Ride, Frosty the Snowman.
That sounds horrible.
I saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus by the Ronettes. It's
That
really,
sounds
really
horrible
good.
as well.
It's all
These are not good songs.
I mean, they're fine.
No,
It's
they're
like,
not.
it's like Dave just said. Like it's the background music that wouldn't wind you up. I think if you put a Bublé record on at Christmas, you'd want to kill your
It's
family.
like saying
more than
that
usual.
song, the Grand Old Duke of York's good. It's like it's not good.
It's nothing
It's
like
well
that.
known. It's just it's
nothing
not
like
good.
that.
It's not like you put it on. You're like, I fucking love this tune.
Yeah, but it's background music that your mum's not going to want to
I
turn
don't
off,
think
that you can deal with.
Yeah, nobody puts on a Christmas song of any kind and goes, I fucking love this tune.
But people do. I mean, what do you call it? Tori Amos did a Christmas album, didn't she? Midwinter Graces or something it's called, and it's all like original stuff though.
Oh, come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel.
Well, no, it's not all original stuff, but I think it's mostly original stuff. And why does nobody write Christmas music? Why is it all just standards?
That's actually, oh fuck, I can't remember. There's actually a really good article about why people don't write Christmas songs very often.
Is it because it's stupid?
Like, what's the last one? Was The Darkness?
The Ariana Grande one.
Ariana Grande.
which
Ariana
is-
Grande. We
yeah.
love you. Hey, oh.
Santa something. It's been the most popular one anyway. So
Santa, tell me if he really cares, 'cause I can't give it all away if he won't be here next year. I've been down this road before, fell in love
That's been the most recent one I can think of that's actually not a standard that's been covered by somebody else.
So people are still occasionally writing new Christmas songs and trying to make them take.
I mean, I guess probably on one hand it's a hard thing to do to write a Christmas song that'll take, but on the other hand it's like they only get wheeled out once a year, so once you've written a good one, then
It's also maybe if you write a good song and then you go and make it about Christmas, you're sort of limiting its usage, and people are sort of funny about doing that. Wasn't the problem back in the day though? Because it paid off over time. Look at Wham.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't have to make Last Christmas about Christmas. They could have made it about anything, but they knew that it was going to it was the sort of tortoise and the hare thing. It's like, this song over the piece is going to
this one's going to put the kids through college.
Yeah, exactly. Not that George Michael had kids, but you know what I mean.
Bad Religion, I've got one which is pretty good as well.
It's not an album though, is it?
Yeah, it's an album of Christmas songs.
It's a full album.
It's all hymns basically, and it's done in Bad Religion style.
Oh, come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem.
With the great harmonies in that as well. I think it's like 15 minutes long.
That's ruined your New Year, hasn't it, Chris?
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we had gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Well, I was going to say it's a good juncture since we're talking about Christmas to swap presents here.
All right,
as long as we don't
Okay.
get the Bad Religion Christmas album.
Sorry, nobody's got that. I think you'd actually like it, look.
Okay, so as you all know, because this episode was delayed by illness and crime, the presents are overdue. So David, here's yours. I'm sure you can guess what that might be. Mark, here's yours,
a record
mate.
shape.
Thanks.
Toss it to you. There we go.
Chris, there's yours.
Right, that feels
Dave.
soft.
It was,
He went right for the wine there, man.
I went round it.
I've got a white couch.
Right. I didn't wrap mine, but I've got two lovely things. Mark, do you want to just come over here?
Yeah.
Mark, can you get my Christmas present while you're over there?
And that's for Chris.
Oh, yes.
Oh man, those are my colours. What is this? So, Bonnie Scotland luxury handmade milk chocolate. Oh, that's a cracking arse in the
It's
cover
got
as
some
well.
sexy Scottish lads on it. I got you both a packet.
Yeah, that's actually.
I've got different lads on it though.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
these
great.
guys
Belgian
fucking
milk
work
chocolate though. What the Belgians taking the piss out of us?
It's,
that what that is?
It's part of the Triple Alliance.
Fuck's sake! Also, a money collection tin.
Yeah.
With His Royal Highness Prince King Charles the
Well,
Third.
you'll have to replace your Queen Elizabeth money tin. So
That's true.
she
Aye.
should wave.
She is waving.
Aye, good. She's infinite wave, Mary. An infinite waving Mary
Oh, I like that.
Magdalene, or no, the other one, Mary
The Virgin.
Mary Christ.
Thank you for that, David.
So she should
What is Mary's second name?
surname.
Same
The
as-
Carpenter.
Yeah, whatever,
Did she get
whatever
one?
John's was.
She was married to Joseph the Carpenter.
You say
so
John?
Aye, because he was his wife.
Joseph.
Joseph, oh, fuck off, I don't care.
Hey, Joseph.
Terrible Christian.
Well, I'm Catholic.
What's fucking Mary? She must have the second name.
A maiden name.
It will be there. It won't be obvious.
Right, jeez.
Energetic and exhilarating. Daily Telegraph.
Yeah.
So this is a book from Mark. Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Oh,
It's about
a history of hip hop.
It's about early hip hop.
This is like a good present. I bought you
Yeah.
terrible presents. Oh, thanks very
I
much.
saw that and I was like, you always said you wanted to know more about it. So
Oh, Mark,
This looks great.
Look at this, Dave. This is a fucking belter. Look at that.
Oh, that is good.
Mark has got me a Wuthering Heights t-shirt that has all of
the
the
dance.
dance moves on the front of it.
Oh, that's
That
cool.
is fantastic, Mark. You really have outdone yourself here.
Well, that's a nice book, thank
That's a
you.
birthday and Christmas present, right?
It is, yeah. it is.
Which one is which?
Well, you can divvy them up based on disappointment.
For my birthday, it is the biography of Meatloaf.
But no, it is an AI-generated biography of Meatloaf. Read out the
The
title.
untold tragic story of Meatloaf, uneasy beginning, who died at 74.
read a sample of it.
I'm going to do that right now.
It's an AI-generated book about Meatloaf.
Here we go.
AI.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Give me. I want to go right in the middle. It doesn't have to. Chapter 4: Life in personal context. Meatloaf had a vital and hazardous year in 1978. According to Louder Sound, by May he had established himself as one of the most well-known artists on the planet. Meatloaf was on the verge of self-destruction as his band struggled with infighting, insurgency and drug misuse.
Insurgency?
Insurgency is indeed the word that is used there. Did not make that up.
That tour of Afghanistan, did they go well?
There were moments of gold. Meatloaf sung in his melancholy performance of It's All Coming Back to Me Now, which came out in the year 2000 and something. It's completely baffling. Todd Rundgren, the producer of Bat Out of Hell, recalled the most brilliant moment with Billboard. Next section, marriage proposal.
Yes. So,
Oh wow.
I went down a bit of a rabbit hole here, which is that people have started on Amazon just selling.
Oh my God, I've got the end. I need the end.
Right, okay.
Demise. Meatloaf died on January 20th, 2022. I'm just going to say this now, God rest his soul. In Nashville, Tennessee, at the age of 74. No cause of death has been disclosed. On January 7th, his daughter said on Instagram, "We are not ill, but we have too many relatives who are testing positive right now. Positive, but doing all right." Several performers, including Bonnie Tyler, Cher and Brian May, as well as former President Donald Trump, paid homage. May his soul rest in peace, in all caps. Amen. And that's it. That's the last page of the book.
See that book? I'm pretty sure, right, that book never goes near a human being. Like, I think that's an automated process. So it gets made. I mean, was it Amanda May Carter?
Yeah.
So there's hundreds of them, and they're all just these randomly generated human names. Look, even the cover, the picture, it's like a bad, like, bit of clip art of like Meatloaf, and but it's not just him. It's like Prince, it's Cher, it's Diana Ross. Hundreds and hundreds of these like AI generated biographies that are just slammed together from like a bunch of internet articles, and they're then printed in this really cheap sort of like automated way. And I just think it's a fascinating phenomenon. It's like the AI generated music that we were talking about in Spotify.
Yeah, but in physical form.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's amazing.
Dave.
And that's a lot.
Oh yeah, thank you. Oh yeah,
hang
what
on.
else did
Sorry,
you
what
get?
was your other present?
It's a Prince t-shirt.
It's the alarm again, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Good
Dave,
shout.
Meh.
Yeah, it's lovely.
simple and effective. That,
Simple
innit?
and
Powerful.
effective.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yep.
Dave.
Well, yeah, you got me Sunburst by Rusty, the EP that came before Glass Swords, your favourite album.
Glass
of-
Swords, it's probably still to date my least favourite episode that we've ever done, and that's the EP that preceded it on.
Thank you very much. I'm actually excited to listen to
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
so.
you're welcome. You're welcome. I thought you might be.
I've got two great presents. I feel bad for giving you a waving Mary and some buff
Actually, I'm
naked
waving
Scottish
Mary.
men.
I'm fucking pretty jealous about that. Although I am a little bit insulted that this whole thing that the Belgians think. I mean, even though I found it funny, the fact that the Belgians are making chocolate with a Scottish arse that says Bonnie Scotland on the front of it. You're fucking Belgian, mate. You're
Do you think
ridiculous.
that's a Belgian guy?
I better not be a
Could be.
Belgian arse.
Maybe it's AI generated arse.
Maybe.
Chocolate and an arse.
Some
Who
dark
needs that
chocolate.
combination, eh? Okay, right. Back to the show.
We're still talking about Christmas.
There he is. Look at him with his big fat fingers.
I just want you to save up as much money in that
Can
as
he get his
possible.
fingers in that slot, could he?
That can be your Prince Charles assassination fund.
It's really odd as well. Charles Reginas. That won't mean a lot to anyone that's never looked at a post box, but there you go. 6th of May 2023, what a day that was.
Yep. A really difficult wank.
It was difficult as his. Okay.
All right. Next question. Claire McKeeve. She asks, if you could erase any Christmas number one from history, which would it be?
Right, have you looked at the Christmas number ones from the last 15 years?
Right, so what the fuck is Lad Baby?
Well, this is a thing. So I'll come to this later. But Lad Baby is some guy who was on fucking, I don't know, Instagram or YouTube or something. He's just a guy
Just a did.
who got, I think he did pranks on his wife
Right.
from fucking, I don't know, Nottingham or something. And then he decided to do a Christmas single back in 2018, I think was the first one. And it was a pun on we built this city, but it was we built this city on sausage rolls.
Yeah.
This city, come on, babe. We built this city on sausage rolls.
It's not bad, that.
It's alright, yeah. The lyrics are epic, aren't they?
Stay in tune.
and it was all about sausage rolls and Greggs and shit like that. Just worst British patter ever. It's banter. It's like, this is the definition of banter. It's
So
Lad Baby.
this ties into what I was saying about Robbie Williams' Angels as well. It represents that same British fucking sausage roll.
Now, the problem is with this, the money's donated to a good cause. It goes to food banks. So that's why it got viral, and everybody's like, oh yeah, we need food banks, blah, blah, blah. But of course, we shouldn't need food banks. Nobody had ever heard of a fucking food bank in 2010. This is all down to the cutting of social services and austerity and the Conservatives. Yeah. So Lad Baby is another crime that has been foisted upon us by the Conservative government.
That's a spicy take. Like,
but if you look back over the last... So, like, that's what this fucking country has come to. I don't even know what was 2023's one. What was it?
No idea.
Because they stopped doing it. They did 5. Lad Baby but it's him and his wife, I think, officially. But Lad Baby were, for the last 5 years, Christmas #1.
You know what?
That's worse than when Killing in the Name of in 2009 became Christmas #1 on the back of it. Everybody getting really bored of X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, doing it.
Singing, I love sausage roll. To put another one in the oven, baby. I love sausage rolls. To eat with ketchup or gravy.
in 2023, it was Last Christmas by Wham.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so finally a good song, but it was fucking 35 years old.
That's interesting. But I mean, it's really, I didn't even know about this Lad Baby thing. That's how much I must tune out.
Well, that's it. If you don't watch This Morning or listen to Clyde Radio, you wouldn't know about it. But this is what normal people know about. But if you go back to 2009, it was Killing in the Name, Rage Against the Machine, which was like a protest vote that actually accidentally got a good song in, and that poor guy, what was his name? There was like some sort of weakling boy who got pushed to number 2.
X Factor mark, yeah.
Like, he was the first X Factor guy in 5 years that didn't get to #1, and he's since been minced and fed to dogs.
It's made of people.
But listen to this. This is since 2009. I haven't heard most of these, and B, if I have heard them, they are horrific. 2010, When We Collide by Matt Cardle.
Oh, that was an X Factor
classic.
song. It was an X Factor.
2011.
That's a cover version, isn't it? It's a Bliffy Clyro cover. It's a cover of.
Was that the one that? Oh my god!
When we collide,
it's got a different. I don't know why they gave it a different song title, but it's a Bliffy Clyro cover.
2011,
Bizarre.
Wherever You Are by Military Wives with Gareth Malone. That's a real top-notch banger, that one.
Hang on, I'm going to get my time.
2012 was He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother by The Justice Collective.
I'm strong enough to carry him. He ain't heavy. He's my brother.
The Justice Collective. Is this like some kind of?
I don't fucking know.
That sounds a bit UKIP-y, doesn't it?
Was Skyscraper by Sam Bailey. I don't know if that is a man or a woman. I don't know, or in between. Like, I genuinely don't know what Sam Bailey is.
Yeah.
Never heard of them. 2014 was Something I Need by Ben Haynow. And when the only thing I know about Ben Haynow is that I simply want to go, hey now, don't dream that. Like, I want to sing somebody else's song because I don't know anything about you. 2015, A Bridge Over You by the Lewisham and Greenwich NHS Choir. This is #1 Christmas #1s, which is like cultural cachet.
Also, we're a music podcast that literally none of us know any of the number ones.
2016 was Rockabye by Clean Bandit.
So rockabye, baby, rockabye. I'm gonna rock you, rockabye, baby. Don't you cry. Somebody's got you, rockabye, baby, rockabye. I'm gonna.
Oh, fucking hate that
I
group.
think I've heard that song.
I don't know. 2017, you'll have heard of the artist at least. It was Perfect by Ed Sheeran.
I think I hate Clean Bandit as much as I hate Ed Sheeran.
And then 2018 to 2022 was all Lad Baby. So, I mean, fucking hell. What the fuck? since 2010. Are you trying to say that Christmas number one has any sort of cultural value? Absolutely not. That is like a list of horror, a representation of Britain in the worst way possible, a reflection of a society crumbling.
I'm gonna.
So, are you trying to tell me to erase one Christmas number one from history?
Yeah,
just erase
Christmas,
the Christmas number one.
Can I just make? I've had enough vodka to be able to actually say this, right? So there was a teacher at my school called Eddie Sheeran, right?
Is he dead now?
Yeah, he died like 10 days ago.
Okay, wow.
And the drummer from my band messaged me and like he was like, mate, Ed Sheeran's dead, and was really upset. And I was like, I didn't want to be cold in that, but I was like,
he's shite.
That's an interesting fact, man. But why are you taking it so personally? And it is sad that because it turns out it was the teacher from my school. It was a nice guy, and that's a fucking sin. But honestly, I went through a good 5 minutes of not knowing how to respond because he was clearly really upset, and I was just thinking like, well, wonder how he died, man. Like I was like, my mind started racing. I was like, maybe he had an eating disorder, or maybe it's like Matthew Perry. But no, it was actually a nice guy called Eddie Sheeran, and I don't know why he abbreviated it to Ed Sheeran, but it confused the whole matter for me. There you go.
Cool.
So Christmas can fuck off then, yeah? Is that
no, wait a minute. No, I have an actual answer for that. So, as I said, I didn't remember anything since about 2003 that had been number one. One that I particularly fucking hated back in the day, though, 2001, was Robbie Williams and Nicole Kidman doing that Something Stupid song.
The time is right, your perfume fills my head. The stars get red and all the nights so blue. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you.
Then I go and spoil it all by saying
I hate that song anyway,
I think perhaps Two Little Boys by Rolf Harris could be deleted for history. Would that be cancel culture gone mad?
Yeah, we need to remember and reflect on our mistakes.
I mean, just to finish on a positive note, I still think that the best actual Christmas themed song is Lonely This Christmas.
It'll be lonely this Christmas without you to hold. It'll be lonely this Christmas, lonely and cold.
But I think the best Christmas number one was Always on My Mind by the Pet Shop Boys.
Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the right answer. I would say.
Yeah.
The song that I was going to pick was Band-Aid. They know it's Christmas because it's just hideous, and they just keep rehashing it every 5 years or 10 years. So it'll come back.
But it solved poverty
because they bought so many handy guns for the Ethiopian dictatorship.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just delete Christmas, like Dave says. Let's just bin it.
Yeah, fine by me.
Okay, next one is a fucking really good one. I need a drink of vodka though. Right, I'm all set for this fucker.
Yara Shalev. Is that right?
Yara Shalev.
There you go. What are your best misheard song lyrics? For years I heard the Cranberries linger as, you know I'm searching food for you.
You know I'm searching food for you.
And it's so deep. You know I'm such a fool for you. You got me right.
I'm a friend who thought Alanis Morissette was saying the cross-eyed bear. We had a chat about this, and I wish I'd written down a lot of the answers that I'd come up with, but because I couldn't remember.
Yeah, we did.
I couldn't remember. I do have a couple. You Stole the Sun from My Arse, by the Manics. which once heard cannot be unheard. Obviously, Purple Haze is a classic. Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Yeah, well, that's the most famous one, I
Yeah.
think. Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
My sister, she liked the song "I Try" by Macy Gray. You know it, right? Yeah. I think the lyric in that is I tried to walk away and I stumbled, but my sister always thought it was I tried to walk away and my thumb broke.
I tried to walk away and my thumb broke.
Which I always thought was fucking hilarious.
Some famous ones, apparently. Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. People thought it was Money for Nothing and The Chips for Free.
That makes the song better, really.
Queen, Saving His Life from This Warm Sausage Tea.
Yeah.
ABBA, See That Girl, Watch Her Scream, Kicking the Dancing Queen. And actually,
I prefer that.
That is no, I have to admit that I did hear that a few times as well. Bon Jovi, it doesn't make a difference if we're naked or not.
Yeah.
Genuine misheard lyrics on my part. Snap, Rhythm is a dancer, it's a social magnet. I think the actual words are it's a soul's companion. Brenda Lee, you know, it's on Christmas Tree. So end of the first verse. Later we'll have some fucking pie.
Yeah.
Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling.
As opposed to pumpkin pie, but it honestly sounds like fucking pie. And I could never understand what the fuck Michael Stipe was saying in Sidewinder Sleeps Tonight by R.E.M. It sounded like Chumley's Gotta Wake Up.
Sleeps in a car. Come in, try to wake her. 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 Come in, try to wake her.
I think the lyrics are "Call me when you try to wake her up," but he crams it all into like 4 syllables. Like, trying to wake her.
Sounds like a Manic Street Preachers thing. Dave.
I don't listen to lyrics, so I don't have any.
That's right. You probably thought they were all
Yeah,
correct.
okay.
But yeah, okay, I like that one.
That was good.
I don't know if anything's as funny as I'm searching food for you though. I think
I don't know.
that's adorable, and there's a language barrier thing there that makes that more believable as well.
I wonder what a lot of people who are non-native English speakers think about Manic Street Preachers lyrics, because I know Used to Lose Some of My Arse is like quite an obvious one because it's a really thick Welsh accent, but there's got to be so many more because of the way he sings. I'd be intrigued to know
It's
about
also got that nice sort of suggestive thing of like sun shining out of someone's ass.
Yeah. So Jason Costello, what is the worst music recommendation you have ever received in earnest? Well, thanks Jason for that question. Before we get into it, but we're going to go over to Rebecca, who's I believe is like the other side of the world and probably like back in time from a
Rebecca Yerivna, probably still in 2023 at this point. I think that's how time zones work.
Hey, it's Rebecca Yerivna, aka Bex, coming to you from New York with the answer to the question, what's the worst music recommendation you've ever received in earnest? From Jason Costello. It took me a while to dig through the archives of my mind, and I had to go with the first reaction that I had because it was a physical gut reaction. A few years ago, I was a music technology professor at NYU, so I would be invited to lectures from the music business school. And I found myself having drinks one night after a guest lecture, and I was sitting next to someone named Tom Silverman. Now, I knew who he was very well. He's the founder of Tommy Boy Records, which was huge in hip-hop with artists like De La Soul, LL Cool J, Queen Latifah, Tribe Called Quest. And I was very, chuffed and honored to meet this guy. And then he asked me if I knew the music of his daughter, who is in a band or artist called Aster. And I said, no, because I'm honest. I'm not one of those people who pretends to know music when you ask them. I think it's an opportunity for you to learn from someone rather than try to be cool, when that happens. And so instead of him getting excited to tell me about this artist, he was so offended that I didn't know who she was. And he said, no, it's not like Astor Place. It's ASTR. And you're her age, so you should know who she is. And I said, I apologize, I don't, but I look forward to listening to her and checking her out. I did listen and check her out, and it was so soulless and so overproduced that it sounded undercooked. It was like, you know, the kind of mid 2014, 2015, like tropical pop thing, and just none of the songs, it was just bad. So the musical recommendation itself was terrible. The way that it was like angrily, sort of offendedly recommended to me, and the music itself was the worst.
I guess that's something we didn't really think about. Is like the worst recommendation, as in like the way it was recommended to you. Like, fucking listen to this, you fucking dickhead.
Aye. I can't believe you've not heard that. What's wrong with you?
There is a fair bit of that, isn't there? Like, like,
yes.
What you mean? You don't like this?
Yeah, and it's some. Oh God, if you work as a programmer or somebody that puts on music for a living, people are offended when you don't like their fucking shitty Ocean Colour Scene sound-alike band. What do you mean you've never heard the fucking Tommy and the Twat Wanks?
We fucking sold it King Tuts.
We fucking played King Tuts. I fucking yeah, fucking
Thanks,
Yeah.
Rebecca. Okay, what are ours?
St. Anger by Metallica.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, shots fired there,
Whoa,
mate.
now.
Fuck's sake.
Saint anger round my neck. Saint anger round my neck.
Yeah, I'm only halfway through my first beer as well.
Fucking, that's gratitude for you. Can I take that wee waving Mary? Mary, what's her name?
No, but seriously, I once had a partner of a family member of mine recommend Asking Alexandria.
What's that like?
You'll find out. You'll find out
bad.
very soon,
Oh,
Chris.
fuck you.
It was a total curveball, man, because this guy's a farmer, but like a fucking tank, and he's like really big into Ask Alexandria, but they're totally hideous. And a guy I once worked with many years ago recommended the Violent Femmes to me.
When I'm out walking, I strut my stuff, and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Let me go on, like I blister in the sun. Let me go on.
And I remember listening to them and thinking, what the fuck is this corny pish? And just never listened to it ever again. Are they any good?
They have some good moments, eh?
Yeah.
It was at that time I swear I lost my mind. Started making plans to kill my own kind. Started making plans to kill my own.
If you like twee shit or you work in monorail, you'll fucking love them.
Right, okay, it won't be for me then, I guess.
No, probably not. They got a great song in the Crow soundtrack. Colour Me Once, I think it's called.
Patience, I can't understand. Patience like a man to a wife. I got patience on my neck like a coconut. I suggest nimble jack.
Yeah, remember that? That's right.
So, Dave, do you want to go first?
Oh, well, I mean, LCD sound system and Arcade Fire. People always tell
Do you
me
really
you'll
not like
love-
Arcade Fire?
Nah, fucking pish.
That's
It's just
interesting.
really
I didn't know that.
boring. I don't like it.
But
Just don't get it.
did you
Which
not?
is weird. I like Bon Iver, but I don't like Arcade Fire.
I was going to say, do you not like Admiral Fallow and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't get it. I've listened. I've tried to. I just don't care.
I don't understand that. I feel like there's some kind of like trauma related like block there. Like,
yeah, maybe. LCD sound system. Every time, people are always like, no, you'll actually really like it.
that's true.
They've got like some really cool shit. And then every time I hear a song that I think, oh, that sounds like a bad version of Talking Heads. or that sounds like some really shit 80s Berlin techno.
It's LCD sound.
It's LCD sound system.
I have to admit, it never really took, and some of them really do fuck me off as well. So I got a wee bit of a list here, and yeah, we're going to alienate a couple of listeners. So I'll refer to him as my cousin by proxy, Mark Thomas, not the political comedian. He has tried on multiple occasions to get me into the band Galaxy 500. I mean, he almost went to the... Remember when we used to do that thing, if you paid 50 quid donation, we would do a show about an album you
We
wanted.
should still do that.
Back when we were small time.
Yeah, we should still do that.
Yeah, he almost got to that point, and I was like, mate, you do not want to hear what comes out of that, so just keep your money.
Well, actually, you know what? on that topic, fuck you, Craig Brown, for In Me, thank you.
In Me, yeah, that was a tough one. But the show turned out well.
The show turned out
can't
well,
mess
yeah.
with that. Mark, you've tried to convince me the Manics are good, and I fucking hate them.
I've never tried to convince you the Manics good, because one of the first things you ever said to me is you hate the Manics, so I would never try and convince you they're good, because I know you already think they're not.
Certainly feels like you've been doing
But
the
I
long
think-
game.
Well, we're never going to do them on the pod, but we kind of have done them on a pod, so
Yeah,
that's
kinda.
it. That's
More
it.
than I would have cared to. Let's
that's
put that.
You picked Supergrass, so really, who's winning here?
I stand by that record, actually, Coco. I've lost count of how many folk have tried to get me into Fiona Apple.
Pain comes in like a second skeleton trying to fit beneath the skin. I can't fit the feelings in. No, every single night's a light.
Oh, I've not got into Fiona Apple.
No, I can't get it at all.
It's always always in people's top 10 lists. Craig fucking loves
Craig
Fiona
Craig
Apple.
loves her, but I think Craig's also in love with her a wee bit.
Yeah, I
think,
just I listen to every record that people have recommended, or like.
well, when the Pawn was the one that's like, if you're going to get into her, this is when you're going to get into her. And I liked that
Yeah.
song. Is it Criminal?
Don't you tell me to deny it. I done wrong and I wanna suffer for my sins. I've come to you 'cause I need guidance to be true.
I thought that was pretty decent, but then my old bandmate Peter was fucking mad into her, and multiple times listened through entire records, but it just didn't ever click. I remember having Seven Dust pushed on me years and years and years ago, like back in the day when I was finding my way around the new
Alright.
metal scene.
Are you still friends with this person?
What you gonna do for me? What you gonna do? Destroy all you see. Turn to the world, change everything. Save the world.
No. Colin, my old bandmate, tried to get me in. Well, I say he tried to get me in. He was pretty passive, but Colin's pretty passive about everything. But there's a psychology at play. He sort of was into bare naked ladies, and
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying get that together, come back and see me. 3 days since the living room. I realized it's all my fault, but couldn't tell you. Yesterday you'd forgiven me.
no, it just wasn't happening. Jason Costello, who asked the question on this show.
Who asked this question?
Oh fuck, that's true. Well, this is beautiful then, because Jason's tried to get me into Autechre, and I've still not been able to get into Autechre. It's just too smart for me, apparently. Grant Donaldson and Capio Sishasai, who have both been guests on this show, have tried to get me into the band Slayford Mods.
The working class rears its ugly fucking head once more. Hello. Hello. And if there's a shell garage below...
That's not happening.
Yeah.
It's definitely not happening.
Last episode somebody asked us about any kickback we've had or backlash we've had. I'd really like to have backlash from those guys, but it's never going to happen.
I've got backlash from them. It just wasn't on the context of the show.
Yeah, I want
I've
to
just
hear
had-
about the show specifically.
Yeah, no, I've just had personal grief with them. I think I maybe have mentioned this again, right? years and years ago.
Years
I
ago.
was fantastically enthralled with somebody. I was totally mad into her. And
Do you like in me?
she liked the Red Hot Chili Peppers
Yeah, that's-
and used to put it on during sort of romantic cuddling moments.
Coitus.
And it's like, oh, I like you so much, but I'm really struggling right now. That was to this day, that is still perhaps the most torn I've ever
So
been.
Anthony Kiedis' rubbery torso does not do it for you, know.
You canny fornication. No.
By the way,
There's something there.
you canny fornication. It's true. That fucking Barbie song again.
The one with Ryan Gosling.
The fucking
Well, the new one.
the Barb. Yeah,
yeah.
what's the fucking song?
I
I don't know.
know what you're talking about.
Aqua, a Barbie Girl was a banger though. You can't.
That's better.
That's a great record.
Did we mention that last week? That's a really bad. Well, we didn't. Not last week.
What's the Barbie song?
It's
don't
the one
know. There
Ryan
was a whole
Gosling. It's the
album.
one Ryan Gosling sings.
No, it's fucking not the one Ryan
No,
Gosling sings.
that's the one. That's the really big one.
It's
Dance the Night by Dua Lipa.
that's it. Jesus Christ! I can't believe I'm asking this, but just play it.
Can I just interrupt? There was I was really into a girl actually, and I kind of thought for a while she was so into this band, and I kind of thought for a while that I was maybe into it just because I was so into her, and I listened to them and I was like, oh, yeah, I must like it. And then it fell apart, and then I was just like, what the fuck was I thinking? It was The National.
Oh man.
I was
That's
like,
actually probably on my list. Just
Yeah.
the National, people.
yeah, a
try
lot of my friends love The National, and
Yeah.
then I really tried hard and thought maybe I did, and then as soon as my eyes cleared and
As
my
soon as the
ears,
coitus ceased.
yeah, exactly, I was like, no, fucking hell, it's so bad.
Oh, the National are fucking.
Yeah,
they're
they're
struggling.
pretty shit.
Hang on, listen, Mark.
Okay. That's all right.
No, it's no. See, you're as bad as somebody else fucking trying to persuade me that that's
I'm not.
all right.
I didn't say. I mean,
That's not all
I'm
right.
not going to try and persuade you, mate.
It's fucking. It's a long way away for you, all right. But anyway, none of that is my number one. The worst, or the thing that's been most consistently recommended to me, in fact, to the extent that it was recommended to me today, is Sun.
You can't get any. I've
S-U-N-N.
never really tried to get.
I
any
think
Sun,
Sun
to be
are
honest.
pish.
Well, you're going at it wrong.
You're listening,
listening
to music
to it
the
wrong.
wrong way.
Fix me, Dave. Fix me.
You just need to go see them live and feel like you need a poo. That's the best way to operate
So
it.
boring.
Is it?
Nah, it's not.
Really?
You're wrong.
It's like there's modern art that's just like one colour, and you can be like, I don't get that. But then there's if you look hard enough, you can find the little bits that are cool.
It's not convincing at all.
No, there's definitely some overrated Sun stuff and some really good stuff. The first Sun stuff I got into was the Sun and Boris record. That album is genuinely fucking
But
brilliant.
that's got shape and form.
Yeah, I know, but like that was kind of my introduction to it, and I was like, yeah, that's what.
That's
I like.
good despite
But there's
Sun.
there's just some times where I am like, I don't want to listen to drums. I just want pure noise, and like the idea of do you not ever go, I don't want structure. Do you not ever go,
This is me. You know that I do. I just think Sun is the biggest fucking Emperor's New Clothes bullshit in the world.
no, it's not. I would say probably their last two records have definitely been overrated, but I really like do you know what? Weirdly enough, I do think that the stuff that they do what do you call it when you work with other people? Collaborations really work. Their record with Scott Walker, I think, is fucking great.
Yeah, despite Sun.
No, because like they add such like unmitigating depths of horror to it, and it goes like it's just so heavy.
Scott Walker's way more disturbing than Sun.
Oh nah, like they both add equal amounts of
Like man, like I think Sun. Let's just take Sun in isolation here, because we're not talking about how good is a band when they're playing with somebody better.
No. But all right, just listen to
how
Black
good
One.
is actually. I mean, I've listened to a lot of Sun. I've had Sun foisted upon me repeatedly, and Sun is such a fucking gimmick. It is just that even, I mean, if they were a good band, they wouldn't need to fucking dress up. It's not like they do that because they like. It's not like Slipknot dress up and then they play this fucking like big lively show, or like Sun do it because it's like, what the fuck else is going on here?
That's it's theatrical.
It reminds me a wee bit of seeing Tim Hecker as well, because Tim Hecker's fucking mad overrated as well, and that's just somebody that put him on. And I just, it's like for 30 minutes it seems like a good idea. For an hour and a half, let alone a 20+ year career, it's fucking ridiculous, man, that Sun are famous. Like, they're famous purely because there's a chin strokey kind of like cool guy thing to it. Like, oh, it's so loud.
No, right.
It's so wet.
Records,
So wet,
like, listen to Black One. You can just like go through music and be like, no, I want heavier, no, I want weirder, I want sparser, I want whatever. Like, some people stop at a certain point. Some people stop at Foo Fighters. Some people stop at Slayer. Some people just keep going. And to me, Sun really are fucking class at that mass heavy space that has absolutely no structure
or point.
No, but it has point, because just sometimes you really want to listen. Like, I do understand that sometimes I listen to poser music, but I listen to poser music despite it being poser.
I swear it's not an attack on you, man. It's an
no, not at all.
It's just.
But I genuinely do like Sun. I'm not doing it to try be cool.
So it's just like it reminds me a wee bit of the unmade bed phenomenon, right? It's like, well, okay, anyone could do that. Well, why didn't they? It's like the thing with Sun is that so many musicians could do that and don't, because it's fucking boring and pointless. And what those musicians probably look at Sun. I mean, Sun are kind of like a matter of technology, right? A lot of it's to do with the amps, and you have the geeks that go along, and the saturation level of the tones and all that kind of fucking stuff, right? It's like, yeah, I get it. There's like a tech head side to it, right? But loads of other bands could do that, but they don't, because they want to push themselves and do stuff that's more complex, and they realise that hang on, let me just round that thought off. They realise that the genius of Sun is the Sun have cornered the market in this fucking gag, and that Sun Records are taken seriously in a way that if Converge suddenly brought out a record that was an hour of absolute fucking drone, it would be just as good as Sun, but nobody would be like, that's a great idea, Converge, because everybody wants to hear them do stuff that's difficult. And Sun, people are just bought into Sun because it's fucking Sun that cornered the market. It could have been anybody.
It could have been anybody, but it's not, and that's the entire point. What they do is they explore texture, and they explore slowness. Right, I went to see a band. No, it wasn't a band. Two artists at Le Weekend at my old work in 2007 or something like that. And I had no idea what the fuck it was. We went to see, it was an art, they were in, two guys, and they were called Buffalo.
It's the longest sentence to make sense.
And they played in an underpass in Stirling, concrete underpass, and they did this it was performance art, and they did we didn't know this. Me and Ali went along thinking it was going to be some sort of indie band. And the guy put on a recording of a piece of cement in a washing machine and played it through the PA, and then another guy on a microphone just came up and sometimes said words like fissure or whatever. And the whole point was like, this was an examination of concrete, and you had to think, and you had to like think about what concrete is and the spaces and the textures and stuff like that.
Sure.
And it was wank, but also it was really interesting.
So here's the interesting thing though, right? When was the last time somebody tried to make you go and listen to Buffalo, or when was the last time they went on like a world tour?
No, exactly.
Right. So they are
but they inspired me to like think that music and art could be weird, right?
Sure.
Now there's two things here. Sun on record, I genuinely think they've got some really fucking good records. Like, It Took the Night to Believe is unbelievably claustrophobic. Like, that song, it's like just so dark and heavy and oppressive. Really fucking good. They are really good on record, and they can be overrated as well. I will say that. But live, genuinely, I've only seen them once, and it's just one of the most extraordinary sensory experiences that I've ever heard or experienced. I fucking loved it so much. I didn't know any of the songs they played. Like, they didn't play songs. It was just noise, right?
That's what they do.
I know, but it was amazing, and I've been to fucking thousands of gigs and nothing ever felt like that, because nobody does it.
That's a headspace thing though, man. That's in that headspace and you're receptive.
Yeah, exactly. So like, if I'm going to a fucking like techno nightclub and some pop plays, it doesn't mean it's bad pop, but I'm not receptive to it. So obviously I'm going to that expecting that, and it works. But like, you're being angry for somebody for just doing what they do. What they do is they do an amazing thing. Like, I've genuinely, like, there were points in that Seeing Sun where like my fucking belly was going. There was just a bit where they just moved one note, right? And everybody just turned around and went, holy fuck. You can go and see I don't know. You just go and see band like thrash metal, and they just play so many notes. Mm-hmm. Whereas what Sun do is like, they explore a note for like 2 minutes, and it's amazing. And they go, right, really fucking feel that, and it tests your patience. And then they move it down, and you go, oh fuck, I'm going to shit myself. And it's amazing. I loved it, and it's patter, and it's stupid, but it's amazing.
So
you just got to fucking feel it.
So I think the comparison with the band in Stirling's interesting, but it's apples and oranges, right? Because my point is that band are not this worldwide phenomenon, high art fucking like written about in the Guardian.
Yeah, but they got fucking paid those to come perform at some wanky chinstroke
fucking O'Malley and that fucking worldwide fucking like, oh, this is so sophisticated and so fucking like, Sun is stupid as fuck. Sun is a bunch of loud stuff doing stupid, boring fucking stuff. You're right, it's an exploration of minimalism, which is interesting, and I would respect it if it was the size of Buffalo, but it's not. It's this absurd, bloated fucking mass delusion of like, hey, isn't this fucking
It's not
great?
exactly. They're not fucking selling out the Hydro. Like,
they're
800
big,
people
man.
come and see them in Glasgow.
They're decades into their career.
They are the drone touchstone.
Exactly. Why? Because they're
the ones that have been doing it, and they're the loudest and the best.
You're saying about like the thrash thing, and I realise that that's the extreme opposite end of it, but there's a level of artistry and skill, and you don't have to be like, I'm not saying that you have to be incredibly skillful to be a good musician, right? But there is a point of ridiculousness that you pass with those guys that are doing all those notes. I get that that's also an extreme taste, right? And that's fine, but it takes an unbelievable amount of work. You can't just be a fucking charlatan and go in and pass yourself off as a fucking incredible thrash band, but you can absolutely be a charlatan and pass yourself off as Sun if you have a few good amps or are sponsored to fuck, which they are, by all of these companies that make them all the best stuff, pay them to fucking play them, and they pay them to sound like Sun. Sun do fuck all. They're fucking pranksters, and we are absolute morons for giving them the money that we give them.
I mean, that's fine, but genuinely in the top 10 gigs I've ever seen in my life. So from a pure primal experience, so you can't take that away from me.
It's a beautiful
So
song.
fuck off.
What's next?
Jenny Hogan, she's asking, if you could pick any musician or musicians to be your parents, who would it be?
Oh, this is easy for me.
It's easy for me as well.
Bjork is my ma and Meatloaf is my dad.
Oh, wait.
It's just Prince. Doesn't matter who the ma is.
Just two princes.
Two princes.
That fucking button's wearing it. So I think it did occur to me at first to say Kate Bush, but then that felt a bit wrong because I actually kind of fancy Kate Bush, and we don't want any of that edible stuff here. So I said Meatloaf and Cher.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But Meatloaf got big dad
so
energy.
like-
He'd be
so-
a class
Yeah,
dad.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? Meatloaf, you get that. You get that.
Bit Republican, though.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, though. But whose dad isn't he a bit?
Yeah, exactly.
fucking- like, whose dad doesn't he say things at the dinner table that you're like, Dad, thank fuck, there's nobody here. By the way, like,
My
just,
dad's actually pretty good for. My dad's really open-minded, so I'm happy.
oh, you
Yeah.
got your cool dad, right?
My dad's cooler than your
yeah,
dad.
yeah, totally.
My dad's lefty.
Well,
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Meatloaf is the kind of guy that you'd be like, you're a fucking redneck, Dad, but you're also kind of all right.
And you're minted.
I just
Nobody's going to mess with me.
I just like Cher as well. She'd be like the ma that your pals all fancy as well. And you'd be like, she just seems class as well. She seems like a really nice woman. I'm into her politics, you know, she's fucking very talented. I'd be, my mates watching that video where riding the gun on top of that ship would be a fucking nightmare though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but-
I was thinking, mate, I was actually like Bjork and Meatloaf together would be a weird couple.
fucking what a fucking house that is, man.
But if-
imagine the arguments.
But if they were divorced, then going to your ma's in Iceland and then your dad's in fucking
Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
Nashville.
That would be fine.
In fact, he died in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville.
We've
Yeah,
found-
yeah,
just found
exactly.
that out.
So,
Thanks,
if you
Amanda
had to have two
McCarter.
Christmases, I'm going for a Bjork and a Meatloaf Christmas.
Wow, Meatloaf Christmas. That's delicious. Next.
Okay, Richard Billsborough again.
Oh, wait, it was Richard that was asking that pure trippy question earlier on about the fucking guitar tones.
It was, yeah. This one's less trippy, kind of. You have to open a tribute themed bar to an artist. Who would it be? And this is in honour of the Rob Halford themed bar in Berlin with a Halford lookalike barman.
About calling a bar Halford, so you just take a bike there again.
I need to buy some jump leads.
Well, can I just preempt this by mentioning once more in this podcast, Lionel's up in Aberdeen. Lionel's is a kebab shop run by a Turkish guy, I think he's Turkish, who at some point somebody noticed, like, here mate, you look like a Turkish version of Lionel Richie. And he fucking...
He leaned into it.
He leaned into it.
Hard.
It's called Lionel's. He's done himself up a bit to look like Lionel Richie. He plays only Lionel Richie music in the shop.
Say you, say me, say it for always. That's the way it should be.
But he also, I love the fact that he plays it on an absolutely shitty, greasy little CD player boombox. And the menu says, hello, is it meat you're looking for?
Yeah, that is good.
Okay, well, I think one option would be a Sam Cooke restaurant called Sam Cooke's. And when you pay, they just ask you to wait because a change is going to come.
Great. Any others?
I think Gwar. Gwar would be good because sky's the limit with that one. You could have a really good kids soft play area in a Gwar themed restaurant. That'd be fucking excellent. Loads of like big foam willies, maybe not. I don't know about kids foam.
Maybe not.
And I don't know. Let's just have a fucking Marilyn Manson Mechanical Animals themed restaurant where everything has rubber tits.
Dave.
Well, I mean, you've got to have an artist who has like an image, a lot of depth, sort of historical, a lot of records and the eras to play on. I would say eras are good because you could have like, different.
That's a good point.
So I'm obviously going with Korn.
Of course.
Everyone's made of corn.
No, just like fucking bagpipes on the wall. Everybody's wearing Adidas.
Yeah.
The cocktails would be good because you could have, I don't know, you could get a Life is Peachy. Get
Yeah.
Man, you
Forget
thought
all
about
this.
this.
yeah.
Have you actually considered? Have you put a patent in this?
And then you'd be like, you won't get served if you're blind drunk. Stuff like that.
Oh man.
Yeah. So a Korn bar. What would the actual name of the bar be?
All day I
I'll
dream
think
about
about
snacks. Wait a minute, no, that's really good. But we didn't even mention, Mark, what we did on the 30th of December.
Yeah. We'll have an infamy.
So this is a deviation. I'm sorry about this, Richard, but
You'll thank us for it.
the best time to buy tickets is when you are drunk taking a piss. It turns out, because I was at Drury Street and
Smell like a chip pan.
taking a piss, had a few, and noticed on the wall a poster for a gig that was a stacked bill of a Nine Inch Nails tribute band, a Marilyn Manson tribute band, and a Korn tribute band, followed by a goth club night called Stigmata. 4 a.m. on the 30th of December, which I decided was going to be my Hogmanay. And Mark and I went along to that, and what a fucking hoot that was.
Yeah. I think those guys are good at sewing up, man. So all three of those bands shared the same members, apart from the Marilyn Manson band, which had a different singer who ended up not turning up that night because he was ill apparently. But man,
all playing out of Kempers as well, by the way,
Yeah.
which is a great idea, because you fucking touring a fucking bicycle.
Man. Yeah, but they had it bang. I'd seen Korn Again before. Korn Again's a good name for that.
It's a good name.
for a tribute
Yeah,
band.
that's class.
I'd seen them before and they were very, very good.
The tones are so accurate.
Perfect. Because I was saying to Danny the next day, it's dead easy because you know you can just go into Reddit and someone's made the profiles.
You just download
You know what I mean?
the preset.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't even need to bother try to make it because someone's done it. You know?
They still have to have chops to play it. I mean, the bassist had to do an awful lot of slapping and stuff.
Yeah.
But, and the singer was great. Singer did a really good job of imitating not just Jonathan Davis,
But also
then
Trent Reznor.
one fucking wig change and Trent Reznor.
Yeah. So one of Danny's pals was there as well, and he was saying that he knows a guy in Glasgow who plays drums in a Rammstein tribute band and a Disturbed tribute band. So I think it's probably a common thing.
Yeah,
that these just interchangeable members.
You would make extra money.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I really want to do an episode. I spoke to you about it before. I want to do an episode on tribute bands because I think there's some tribute bands which, if the bands don't exist anymore, you can make a lot of money. Australian Pink Floyd being a really great example.
Better than Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
I've seen them live.
The bootleg Beatles, who that's their lives, the complete Stone Roses. I think you probably make more money if the band doesn't exist. If the band still exists, then
Oasis did really well as well.
Yeah, so I think there's probably something in that. But the fact that it was all basically like the same people that were playing all these songs. I mean, first of all, that's kind of weird, but also cool. And second of all, like Danny's pal Greg said to me that night, he's like, see when you're in a band, right, and you go out on stage and people like your music and they respond to it.
Yeah.
That feels fucking great, but how does it feel to go out there and play songs that you know people are going to respond to, but you didn't write them? Like that's going to sound that. I mean, doing a cover's one
you've
thing.
done a
right?
cover, yeah.
Doing a cover's one thing because you're doing your version of that song, but you're going out there to do the exact same song.
That's true.
As the people want to hear on the record, and these guys were using all digital stuff apart from the drum kit. So if it sounds like the record, that's exactly what you're looking for, right? No one's expecting you to do a heavier version or a jazz version of fucking Freaking Unleashed. Do you know what I mean?
One of those BBC live lounge kind of acoustic slowed down sessions.
yeah. But I think it was interesting to see it because I'd never really thought about it in that way before and put that lens on it. But they were really fucking good at what they did, man. Really,
I bought it thinking this is a fucking stupid idea, and it was a stupid idea. I was looking forward to it, but it was actually genuinely a lot better. As well as being fun, it was a lot better than I expected.
Yeah.
And also, I have to say, it did make you realise, I mean, Korn are a fucking tragedy now. They're a bunch of fucking morons, really. But they had some really good songs. Yeah. And for a lot of people, there was people there with me that were like, I actually really like the music of Korn. It's the singing that puts me off it and the lyrics, because the lyrics are fucking pathetic.
Yeah,
they
pretty
really
juvenile
are
stuff.
pathetic. But I have to say, you mentioned the drummer as well there. Let's give some props. There was a story, how many years ago? 2019. The drummer in these tribute bands, they were playing a bigger show, and there's footage of it. You can look it up if you want. The drummer had a stroke on stage. He described playing one of the songs and gradually losing his eyesight, and dropping his stick out his left hand. And you see the video of the guy kind of blinking and stuff and continuing to play with his feet and his right arm until his vision comes back and he's able to pick up his stick again. And then after the show, he goes to like a ward and ends up spending 2 weeks in a fucking stroke clinic because he had a stroke on stage and didn't stop. If you were in a band and your drummer ever complains because he's doing a 3-hour fucking rehearsal, show him that video.
So that guy Greg, he was one that told me that story, and I don't know if the next part is true. I didn't look it up, but apparently they had another show a night later or 2 nights later, and Korn happened to be in town. And apparently, like Fieldy came on and played bass with them, and had the drummer come on and do stuff. Yeah. I don't know if that's true. That could be apocryphal.
If that's true, that's
but
amazing.
If that is true, that's fucking cool. But yeah, and the fact that he was like actually really good. I mean, I know it was like 4 years ago, 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, I suppose. That's a lot of time to recover, but still
It was
pretty
banging.
on.
So hats off to them. I had a fucking excellent night out as well.
So my tribute theme bar would be Gigi Allen.
Just shit everywhere.
Well, I would say I would have a list of pure minging cocktails, obviously, but I'd have a concrete monument of shit in the centre of the bar. That'd be like the key feature. And women wouldn't be allowed to come in because they'd all get, they could also potentially get sexually assaulted by the bar staff because that's what Gigi Allen was really into.
I can think of a few bars in Glasgow. With that.
Saturday Night by Wakefield is on all the time.
Yeah, because he used to say some horrible stuff about women at the front would get raped and stuff, didn't he? So yeah, that's dark, but banter.
Yeah, bad guy.
Okay, question 23.
Morna Cannon. Listening to music without your headphones, annoying bastard or okay? I was a bit confused by this question.
Yeah, why would that be okay?
Well, no, I said it depends on context. If you're in the house, then
No, you're being facetious there.
no, that's not because like sometimes
She obviously means next to you in a bus or a cafe.
sometimes I'll put a song on my phone if I'm like fucking doing the dishes or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but you wouldn't be an annoying who are you annoying?
I know exactly that's what I'm saying. So the context kind of matters, right?
Yes, so
I think.
obviously you're an annoying bastard if you're playing it
Yeah.
around anybody.
Yeah, that's-
I find that weird. Like,
yeah, that's
it's
what
a
I
weird
said,
question
Danny.
because it's so obviously
Well,
wrong.
no, that's the thing though. I think it did make me think a wee bit, right? Because I agree, it's a total annoying fucking thing. I had it today actually. I was sitting in a cafe trying to read a book, and the guy next to me was playing fucking even worse. He was playing TikTok videos, which are just such fucking rapid fire bullshit fucking noises as well. Same way like people that walk about having phone calls with headphones in. Without holding it to their ear, just having fucking out loud phone calls. Don't get
Or
it.
fuck
Annoying as
people
fuck.
who have kids and then just let them play their games or watch their movie on their iPad on a fucking train or a plane without headphones.
There's a fucking Phil K sketch in this bit.
Absolutely. Fuck off. You're the one that decided to have a little bastard. Get fucking headphones for it, or get them to read a fucking book.
It's
Fuck off.
Yeah, prick.
It's a new,
Fucking shut the fuck up, you little cunt.
there we go. That's his new ringtone. But it kind of like widens, right? Because you get it in parks and somewhere where people think they're creating a vibe by putting the tunes on their phone.
And it's like the cunt that plays Wonderwall at a party.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's totally subjective. You're like, mate, you are not creating a vibe for me right now. This is fucking horrendous. It's like daft wee Neds that play techno and they walk about and think you're going to fucking love it. I think a lot of that's about look at me as well, though. It's look at me culture. But then it does sort of make me think about that really romanticised inner city, like New York City ghetto blaster culture, where it was actually really fucking cool to just take a fucking ghetto blaster and play some tunes and walk about. And
I feel like that was when, not everybody had music. Now everybody has their own music, so they choose to listen to their own music. Back then, not everybody had a fucking Walkman or whatever, and it was about adding atmosphere to a corner of a neighbourhood.
So let's agree then. I would say, for example, you're playing basketball, regardless of what they put on, and I've been in this context. I used to play a lot of basketball at these public courts near where I stayed. It didn't matter if I didn't listen to hip hop. If somebody put hip hop on and you're playing basketball, you're like, that's cool, man. That's fuck it. It's like some tunes, and we're all down with that.
Yeah, or you're at a skate park and they put on CKY.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So it's context dependent, Morna, but I think I thoroughly.
If you are on a train or in a restaurant like cafe or something like that, and you're just listening to a song, fuck off.
I mean, it's actually probably an argument for capital punishment.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Okay, next question. Neil Quinney, thanks again, Neil, for your second question here. Is inspired by Sleaford Mod's cover of West End Girls.
Wow.
How do you make charity singles less shite?
Sometimes you're better off dead. There's a gun in your hand, he's pointing at your head. You think you're mad, too unstable, kicking in chairs and knocking down tables in a restaurant in a West End town. Call the police, there's a madman around, running down underground to a dive.
I think charity should be abolished.
No, I think I mentioned that
should
when
be
we were talking
abolished.
about,
I work for charity.
when we were talking about Lad Baby earlier. Surely it is you make charity singles less shite by making them redundant, and you make charity redundant, and you do that by investing in social.
Ultimately, yes.
Your answer.
And this utopian version.
My
of
answer to make charity singles less shite is invest in social services.
Well, you know what? It actually works in multiple levels, because I do feel that on one hand, if we got rid of poverty, we would get rid of the need for charity singles.
Yeah.
But I also feel if we got rid of poverty in Britain,
We'd
then
get rid of
Sleaford
good
Mods
musicians.
would have nothing to talk about, and we'd get rid of them as well.
I know, but then everybody would be Fred again. It would be full of middle class cunts.
I mean, I kind of hate Sleaford Mods pattern more than Fred again.
Yeah, I know, but hardship creates good art. We just have to listen to old stuff.
Or bad art seizes onto hardship to legitimise itself by pretending to be some.
Well, both can be true.
Yeah, that's true. I actually have to say, I don't think all charity singles are shit. In particular, SOS by Portishead, the cover of ABBA, was fucking phenomenal.
I really tried to make it out. I wish I understood what happened to our love. It used to be so good.
Absolutely phenomenal.
I think I have the answer, and it's you have to remove the novelty factor. The novelty factor is the thing which makes charity single shit. You know, if you're doing something because it's a bit of a banter, but try to be funny, then that automatically denigrates it. I think
if you want to get rid of a huge swathe of it, and I would suggest probably some of the worst would be the kind of involvement of low-level celebrities. So perhaps
that's novelty, though. That is novelty.
Perhaps an argument would be to stop making people famous for fuck all.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Oh, well, getting rid of poverty is not going to happen. You didn't fucking say that today, did you?
I said.
But you think that's more ridiculous than getting rid of poverty in Britain?
I actually think it's probably just as ridiculous. Like I did say when Dave said that, like yeah, that would be perfect in a utopian world because it's not going to fucking happen. But also we're not going to get rid of pointless celebrities anyway because the world is shite and it's fucked and we're all going to hell. But no, I think that what you're saying, I think it's kind of what I mean by novelty. Like you're bringing in these people who are recognised, quote unquote, recognisable faces, and that gives it a novelty factor. It's like you've never heard her singing or him singing in that song because he can't sing, but it's a bit of a laugh because he's in fucking Made in Chelsea. It's like, no, fuck off. Like,
I mean, in fairness, the Sausage Roll Boy probably helped out a lot of folk.
Sausage Roll Boy,
aye, the lad baby.
All right,
yeah, he did probably buy a lot of tins of beans.
Back in the old day, you used to have baths in tins of beans. It's weird how it all goes
rubbing your face in it, eh? Whereas now, you're right, if you did the big bean bath in Comic Relief,
people will be like, that's 25 dinners you're having a bath.
I should have been in a fucking like food bath. That's disgusting.
PC gone mad. That's what it is.
I wonder what you can't even you probably can't even take gunge now. You probably give gunge to the poor. You'd be like, that should be in a fucking Christmas dinner, mate. That's terrible, man. Using that gunge like that, Pat Sharp.
There's actually, I mean, there's part of, not the gunge thing obviously, but the actual food thing, that will definitely be a conversation that's been had at the BBC. That you can't have food related.
Can't have a baked bean bath anymore.
Can't have that. There's a really good Twitter account called Places Where Beans Shouldn't Be. It's just like beans in somebody's pocket or beans in things.
What the fuck you do with your time, man?
I like to
social media.
Yeah, I like to not doom scroll. Basically, I like to just.
That sounds like a question we get from that boy Richard Billsborough. Where should beans not be?
Most places.
Right, okay. Last question for this episode. Is it a proper one?
It's an actual question. It's an unsung special.
Yeah, it's one of the unsung kind of traditional constructive special questions. New Scottish bands to look out for. Who wants to?
Crisco.
I mean, I've got a fair list here. I don't want to.
I've got a few.
Okay, I would say one that really jumps out to me right now is a band Reeking Joy.
I've got that one. Yeah.
Dundee. Hardcore meets punk meets something a bit new. Like they just seem like the real fucking deal. Really good live, great mix, awesome energy on stage, really good fun to watch. Just a really fucking positive band. And I feel as well, I've seen them quite a few times now, and they're adding songs. That I think it's that thing where you see there's loads of bands bubble through and you're like, oh, they're fun to watch. They never add songs. Like this band, it's like a footballer adding goals to their game. Like they're starting to do stuff that's going to stick. I think I think they could go places here.
I'd like to add to that Trauma Bonds, who are another Dundee band who are of a similar ilk. I think they've got potential to do quite a lot of good stuff this year as well. Again, female fronted, again, hardcore meets punk. Really good. Guitar player is in Truth Ruiner, who are a good band as well. Yeah, they're a fucking cracking band and one to watch out for, I think.
Dave, you any?
Yeah, like heavy stuff, Coffin Mulch, class. Like,
I've got them here.
genuinely very
Definitely.
good
very,
death
very,
metal.
very good band.
Yeah. Very
Cute with a K.
Yeah,
Really
we
fun.
were talking about Cute before because they played with Reek and Joy. They are a great band. Kenny Campbell, I know him quite well.
Yeah.
Guitar player, fucking class. Fletch as well.
I guess I've got to choose a band that my cousin Ian's in, so I'd probably go Head Cleaner, who are really fun and fast.
Haven't heard them.
Like, they are genuinely really good.
I saw them, well, maybe about a year ago, but it was excellent.
Yeah. Folky stuff. There's a couple of artists. Ravelo, this girl, Kim. She's amazing. Like, her new album, see if you put that in a playlist with like Mitski, all that really good female indie folky stuff. She's totally
Absolutely.
as good.
All the clouds are coming in, so learn to read them, read them, read them. The clouds are coming.
I'd also check out Iona Zajac.
I've got her here, yeah. Gothy folk pop, bits of Lana Del Rey, bits of Siobhan Wilson, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
How do we move when the streets dissolve? Green man's light will tell us to go.
Couple of electronic folk.
Can we just spell that, by the way, just for the listeners?
Yeah,
So
Iona, Iona Zajac, Zajac. Lord of the Isles has been around for ages, but he's producing really good stuff. I think he's from Sky
heard
or
the
something.
name, I don't know the music.
Like, he's been going forever, but he's never produced an album, I don't think, properly. Definitely worth checking out. And then Proc Fiscal and Lanark Artifacts are both amazing producers who are doing kind of like weird, deep, wonky shit. And then I'll maybe save my last one because it's one of my records of the year.
Okay.
Cool.
Go back to Dundee. Portable Heads.
Portable Heads are good, man. A good
Weird,
band. Mhm.
angular, kind of like post-hardcore-y.
Yeah,
sort of
interesting
stuff.
band, man. Mhm.
Really interesting. Bleaks, Dave.
I love Bleaks.
Bleaks
Bleaks are
good.
great.
Bleaks
Really
as
good
well.
hardcore punk. The
Yeah.
guys come at it from like a bit more of a kind of their background. It's like a bit more art and indie rock, but they've gone really headlong into like authentic hardcore.
But then there's also bits where you can tell they all like Deftones and new metal. Like,
that's
they've
the
got
thing.
bouncy bits.
They're very good at the authentic stuff, but I think what's modernised them a bit and made them less of just a tribute act to like old stuff is that they've got sensibilities from their other groups because they're in completely different other projects.
Yeah.
And as a result, there's some really interesting bits in there. Great live project, the kind of band that you'll see on a bill with Reek and Joy and with Cute and stuff like that.
Well, the hardcore thing, which is kind of like this whole kind of vibe which seems to be happening in modern hardcore at the moment. There's a lot of bands that are doing weird stuff like that. Not British bands, but like Angel Dust's new record is like moving more.
Seven Dust.
Angel Dust.
Right, okay, just
It's
check.
moving more
'Cause I've heard that
towards
Seven
like,
Dust are really good.
that kind of poppy, hardcore-y, like crossover-y pop thing. Not poppy as in how you understand it to be poppy, but like crossover, like Turnstile did. MS Paint had a really good album out last year as well. A bit of like a 90s Nintendo Core Electro almost.
It's not Scottish.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
Right.
there's there seems to be this movement in hardcore
Oh, right, okay.
at the moment where people are like, usually it would be like, oh, we're bringing a bit of new metal. Well, they seem to be bringing in like hip hop and like different things. It's quite really exciting just now.
I think we should mention Backstabber. Share a drummer with Coffin Mulch Fraser. Also Vicky from Divorce and George. Really, really great, ferocious noise rock, like properly brutal, like a jagged, rusty buzzsaw getting fucking dragged over your face. Like, if you like bass tones in particular, it's fucking feral.
Oh, actually, a band like, I've only heard them from the room beneath me in my studio, but yeah, I've been talking to folk that know them, and I think they've been going for a wee while, but they've got a couple of songs I can confirm that they've been practicing that are really fucking good. Big Farmer.
Okay.
They're like a noise band from Glasgow.
Cool.
And they've got the Massey Ferguson logo, so that's class. But yeah, like big beefy noise, sort of old school. Yeah.
Just to branch out a wee bit, to get a bit of representation in here, the Bleeders, this kind of strange, awkward, sometimes noisy, gothy post-punk stuff. Really, really good.
I've seen the name kicking about.
Dancer. The indie band Dancer
Seen that name kicking about.
Gold Mold.
I actually saw them at a gig. They were shoved on another bill, which is a Gold Mold show.
Yeah.
At last minute, because their tour had fallen through. Their show in Glasgow had fallen through. Can't remember who else was playing that. They stood out a little bit because they didn't sound like any other bands on the bill, but they were really fucking good.
Well,
man.
again, they're coming from a label that does a lot of noise stuff, but they're very much an indie band. I will say, like, for folk that are on that scene, they're the band that I think most people have got money on to make a breakthrough. You know, you never know with these bands. Things can get in the road. You know, we've seen plenty of great bands fall at the last hurdle, but they do seem like a band that could go places. I think for like Brit indie guitar rock, you know, you're much more traditional stuff, like The Caves with a K. They're really good at what they do. Whether or not, you know, indie guitar rock straight up is your thing, it doesn't really get much better done than them that I've heard recently. I think CFAX, CEEFAX, if you're British, that'll make sense. If you're not, you'll be like, what the fuck is CFAX? But they do like a Susie and the Banshees gothy indie thing. Absolutely fucking brilliant. Really, really strong on the songs, which I think hopefully will be what gets them a bit of success. Crater Creek, the emo punk scene.
They are very
like
good.
a kind of like almost like a themed horror
Halloween
themed emo punk band, but
they're fucking tremendous.
They're really fucking good. Yeah, I mean, I get the feeling they're a band that'll maybe outgrow that sort of novelty origin and just become a genuinely very, very good emo band. I think Everyday Pharaohs in a similar scene.
After all these years in your grandma's sweater, don't be scared to speak up if you're unsure. The seasons change, but stubborn people still get bored. Did you really think that we...
Yeah, I was going to mention them.
Yeah,
They're
very
so
tuneful.
good.
Very, very tuneful band. Fun to listen to. Gravel as well.
Don't go out tonight. Don't you leave this house to boys who are made
For that gothy electro alt pop thing. And the last one I would throw in here is probably Sweatpants with a P at the start.
Illy, man, I just jump on beats and I get real chilly. Heat up bars on the floor, get silly. Studying these fools like Jay and Billy. Don't want war, but it can get drilly. So just stop, cause you won't get pitied. Man from
Sweatpants. It's a Glaswegian hip hop act, and you know I'm not a huge hip hop fan, but you know on casual listening I'm like, something feels different about this. This is actually really interesting. So yeah, that would be my pick.
You guys have covered a few that I was going to say, so I'll just add in a couple more. Frog costume.
Just leave me here with my heart in my hands, my brains all over the floor, and I'm sure you heard it.
See, they're a band that went quiet, but they were really good.
They've just released their album. They released their album towards the end of last year. It was actually featured on Stereo Gum, which is a pretty big deal. They're all much younger than we are. Cameron's
Isn't everybody?
Cameron's on a bunch of bands, but they're very, very good and they're poised to do quite well, I think. They're really social. Bit biased because we played with them recently and I've been following them for a wee while, kind of like the Hotelier.
Really odd, you know, they're rarely social. You hear that name and you think, right, it's going to be an indie band, right? And then actually seeing them, they were fucking great.
Yes,
but
so good,
did
man.
not sound anything like the band I expected.
3-piece emo, a bit like Hotelier,
Pretty rattly in a good way, like energetic, cacophonous in a good way.
Some almost like mathy tapping guitar parts as well, which is a bit of a theme in some circles of Midwestern emo. And a band that I've been tracking for a while called Slow Move, who are like kind of Paramore almost.
They're good.
With a harder edge.
Yeah.
Really like them. I really want to get on a show with them, so they're fucking brilliant. And you guys have mentioned everyone else. So
Dave, who's this biggie that you're holding on to? Are you keeping that for your best
I'll
album?
keep that from a half-hour separate episode of my favourite albums of the year.
Okay, well, thus we bring to a close.
Thus concludes part 2.
Part 2 of the Christmas special. I've tanned a fair amount of vodka, by the way. Okay, that's going to make episode 3 a bit interesting, but yeah. So
God bless.
Any final thoughts? Apart from the fact that I was right about Sun, and that's going to be the takeaway from this episode.
I tuned out during that whole section.
Sorry.
Just like you do during Sun. Very good, very good, very good.
I like how you did that in a sort of like Still Game kind of voice there. I spent most of the holidays watching Still Game when I was doing it with my parents.
Still Game is genuinely brilliant.
It's the thing you can agree on with your folks, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's
You're like, what? This is actually really funny. I'm into this. Oh yeah, it's
you
like a
prick.
It's like good.
Never heard the word prick said so
many
well.
R's.
Oh, amazing.
Rolled.
Right, okay, well,
lovely.
Join us in part 3, you pricks. You prick.